Hey everyone, this is Apricot266. I'm here to go over some basics of Elvenar, and we're going to look into a few ways that you can be a better producer, or rather a few ways that you can produce more in order to make your town thrive and kick and punch and all that great stuff. We're also going to touch on tournaments and what they are and what they do, and how you can participate in them, or it's a weird way to put it, because it's not about participation, it's about what it costs to do the participation, and that's more or less what I want to lean on this time. This should be a short video. It may go into 30 minutes. I'm going to do a few fancy things with the battles to show you a few thing or two about how they work and what can you do in them to make them work for you. Let's start off with, I'm just going to start off with how I go into my game. And we're going to collect all the resources, and I'm just going to say what I'm doing while I'm doing it, and then we're going to look at my resources and how I got to where I am. Because I've only been playing this for a couple of weeks, or like a month or something. And it's very important to know that I grew very quickly and I've stayed there. Like, I haven't gone back. There's been a few slow periods, and that's expected, but my slow period has never lasted more than a day. So let's get the ball moving, and we're gonna go ahead and play some Elvenar today. All right, guys? All right, so this is my city, as you all have known, and these are all the people who have helped me today. And as you can see here, I have one message waiting for me. I have 7 notifications, and 5 people have talked in the chat since I was here last time. I'll be danged. You can't see my mouse. That's just super unfortunate. Ha! That's fine. We'll make it work. It'll be just good. Alright, so first thing to do as soon as I come in is I look and see what my last quests were. And I can't do that one. I can do that one, but it's not what I focused on. It is not. I can't do that one, and I don't know if I'm going to do this one or not. Now, see, this one gives me 20,000 gold and 5,000 supplies here. So I'm going to hit OK, and then it says to upgrade my armories 4 times. Okay. Now this costs 5,000 right off the bat for just one of them. It wants me to do this to 4 different armories. Okay. And then it costs 15,000 gold. So if I were to accomplish this, it would give me back the cost of 1 armory and just over the cost of 1 armory upgrade here. So there'd be no point in actually completing this particular quest. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to decline this one because, you know, that's not smart. Okay. Now this one is very interesting. You get 80,000 gold just for gaining 5,000 supplies and producing 1 giant globe. Now, for a giant globe, that is a steel manufacturing item. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect my steel here, and you can see here I've got 5,705 steel. So I'm going to collect them all. That's 122 from each. I've only got 4 sitting here. We'll talk more about that here in a minute. All right, now the globe is a day's worth of time. That's terrible. That's just terrible. But I can do it because I don't need steel currently. So for 80,000 gold, I'm going to go ahead and just click that. And then I'm going to get all these restarted. I'm going to do the 9 hours because after this video, I'm not going to come back into Elvenar tonight. So what I do is I do 3 hours on everything. You can see these are advanced tools. Advanced tools are the 3 hours. They take 3 hours to make, and that lines up with my steel manufacturing and my scroll manufacturing. So we're going to click these. 3 hours left. So I'm actually going to do this, and I'm going to have to jump back on tonight, and that's not cool, but it's fine. And this one, we're going to upgrade again. Okay, now I took out some of my steel manufactories and moved them over to scroll manufactories. Now you'll also notice in this entire town, I don't have anything but my boosted goods. Now you're like, well, Apricot, how do you get such high numbers in your tier 1 goods and your tier 2 goods? And they all stay about even. And what I do is I go to the trader, and I use the trader appropriately. And because I do that, I have a lot of everything. And it's what you need to move forward because it's amazing. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and collect all of my gold because there's no need for it to just sit there, and these actually operate on a time-sensitive basis. So like the earlier you collect them, the more you can get, yada 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 yada. And by the time I'm done with this tutorial, I'll be able to collect my gold at least once, probably 3 more times. You'll notice these right here, these are level 7 residencies. I just unlocked that. We'll go to my knowledge book here in a little bit to show you what's going on there. We're going to get my supplies out of the way. Now, this is something I'm going to show you because this is what I did with my steel manufactories. Okay, if I click on this and I go to upgrade, it says I have to research. Now, when I research this is going to upgrade to 821 per hour instead of 374 per hour, which is more than 2 times the amount that it produces. Okay, it's going to cost me 130 population, 63 culture, and then it's going to do, you know, the supplies and the gold, which is just phenomenal and fun because I actually have a surplus of gold all the time. But it turns into a 4x3. Now, this is going to take the space of 2 as opposed to 1 of the workshops. So what I've done here is I'm going to keep these 3, and I'm going to upgrade them as soon as I get my knowledge done. Once they're upgraded, all of these 4 are going away because I will no longer need them. Because going from 374 to 821, 821 is going to just completely outplay this 254 times 4, because that's 1,000. And one of my new buildings will take up the 1,000 these ones are doing. But you'll see that these are level 8 and these are only level 5, because there was no point in getting any more than just 3 of the level 8s, because those are the only ones I'll be keeping. Whew. But for now, I don't need to get rid of them because I don't have the appropriate... I probably actually should have done advanced tools again because I gotta come back in here. But it's okay. We're doing basket of groceries now because, again, this will be the last time I'll be logging in today to Elvenar. The next thing we're going to go for, okay, that's basic town structure, okay? Now, we're going to look here into my armory. Now, in my armory, I can train a boat ton of units, and that's all through the research tree. Again, I'll be showing here in a little bit. I have 4 open slots because I've upgraded my barracks to level 8. To upgrade it to, or level 7. Is it level 7 or level 8? Level 7. I can upgrade it to level 8 and get 9 on my trading speed, and then 655 ranking points, as opposed to 497, which is all cool and gravy. But I'm not currently training troops, and I'm going to explain why as soon as I go to the tournament end of this video. But currently, this is where I'm sitting with my barracks upgraded. Now, you'll also notice my barracks is a tad larger than yours if you haven't upgraded it to level 6. I want to say it's 6. 6 or 7, one of the two. It goes from a 4x3 to a 5x4, and it takes up a lot of space. And space becomes a huge issue in this game, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Anyhow, I'm not going to be upgrading this. As you can see, I'm not training any units currently, because units cost supplies, and I've only got 9,472 supplies. If I were to train an entire group of units, and I can actually show you, and it doesn't matter which ones you train, okay? So like this one costs 672 to train, what is it, 48 units, okay? The Treant costs 696. That's a very small margin for a difference in the amount of supplies it takes. So what it would take is about the same amount for each one. But just for argument's sake, we're going to go ahead and train a Treant and another Treant. Okay, that's going to take 5.5 hours, and look, I'm down to 6,700. That was almost 3,000, and you can see that if I X all these off, it goes up ridiculously. And I go back up to, it was about 3,000 just to train 4 slots of units. And my army size is quite large. It's 69. So I have 69 times 7.1 of my archers. There's only 11 per squad here, so it's 11 times 9, so it's like 105 here. You can actually see on the screen where it says single units overall. And I've got a few of them saved up and trained, and that's all grand and well, but I don't use them to fight unless I'm in a tournament, and I'll explain that when I get to the tournament section. But this is where my barrack stands, and like I said, I don't see a big reason to train these units currently, because I have more than enough. If you look, I have 635 swordsmen and 489 archers, and 105 and 28, and that's more than enough, and you'll see exactly why when I get to the tournament screen to do what I need to do. I'll be training more eventually, but currently I'm at a lack of supplies that I need. because my current supplies is 9,400 and I can get 91,000. And I usually tend to be around 30,000 supplies and try to stick around that area. But I just recently went through a few upgrades for my residencies. And you can see these ones are level 8 because I did get the knowledge book tree for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go further into the resources because I want this to be a big thing that everyone understands. Number one, I have 3,700 marble, 6,100 steel, and 3,900 planks. The reason I have these awesome numbers when it comes to tier 1 resources, and in tier 2 resources I have 498, 473, and 489 respectively. Now, why don't I have this many in the tier 2 resources? Because of the trader, and I'm going to explain it here in 2 shakes. So my tier 1 trade, or my tier 1 goods are as well as they are because I utilize the trader in extraordinary ways. And there are ways that you can actually use the trader in order to get done what you need to get done. So you go to place offer and you see what you have currently for all of your manufactured goods. So I have 6,100 steel, 3,900 planks, and 3,700 marble. I have a lot of steel. So if I'm going to make a trade or put up a trade for offer, I'm going to do steel versus marble because marble is the least amount that I have. I'm going to set this to 100 and then I'm just going to confirm it to 500. And that's 5 right there. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the question here is why don't I just do one big trade for 500? Because some people in the fellowship aren't as far along and don't have that many resources, and that's completely cool. But 100 is not a lot to ask, and it's not a little to ask. It's just enough to make that difference from unlocking something, or finishing a fight, or getting a relic, or finishing off a province. Like that's a good amount to work with. But see, I don't just need marble because I produce steel. I could also use some planks. So we're going to do planks at 100, and I'm also going to do 500 of these. 3, 4, 5. This is all before I even go and see what's up for trading. Okay? So let's say I only had 500 steel after I put up all of my offers, right? Alright, so I have 500 steel, so let's filter this down to just people in our fellowship. So I've got 500 steel to work with. I'm looking for steel in the demand column. And we have none. Just none. Okay? And that's unfortunate. Because everyone's looking for tier 2 stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you right here now, I only do tier 2 trades for tier 2 goods. I don't ever go back. Because not only do I have enough tier 1 goods, but tier 2s are equivalent to tier 2s. And there's a reason they're equivalent. If you're, and it looks like here, Takar Castle is looking for silks, TC. Right? And that's cool. You look for silks, you do what you got to do. But what I'm saying is, I would never do this trade. That's just not something I would do. Not only do I not need planks, even if I did need planks, I wouldn't trade a tier 2 for a tier 1. I would just make a new offer, is what I would do. That's not saying your trade's a bad trade, and I'm sure they're being taken across the board, and that is super spectacular. There's just not really a reason for those to be made. You know, if you are a, let's see, TC has done all of these, so it looks like he needs all 3. I couldn't tell you what he was, so let's go ahead and visit him, and we'll find out the hard way. Alright, so we've got his planks there. What is this? There's a workshop there. Where are his tier 2 manufactories? Here we go. Nope, that's planks again. It's hard. I'm an elven player, so looking at human buildings, I actually have to like scroll over it and see what it says that it is. Armory, these are all residencies, I know that. There's residencies, planks. So he's not on tier 2 yet. That's why he's making the trades. Okay, that makes sense. If you're not on tier 2 yet, you need tier 2 items in order to do stuff. Totally makes sense to go ahead and make those trades. However, in the knowledge tree, or out in the real world, because I was getting on the provinces, I was getting tier 2 items in order to negotiate a province before I could even make tier 2 stuff. But it's not really worth it going in that direction because, and I'll show you when I go to the tournament what I'm talking about here. it's more worth it to just get to the point where you can make your tier 2 stuff, your tier 2 boosted good before you do anything. Because as soon as you can make your own, it just snappity quick. It's ridiculous. And to show you how ridiculous it is, so I'm actually moving fast here because I forgot to mention how this works. So currently we have this March of the Herds going on right now, and it's a special thing, and you have turnips that grow all around your place that you can look at. And as cool as it is to just go around and get them, when you first log in, there's going to be none. But if you go to another screen and then come back home, that's when they're grown there. And I forgot to mention that, but yeah, that's when you can pick them up. And another screen isn't clicking on the trader, another screen would be clicking onto another area. You'll see here True Alturian, one of my favorite dudes. He's really close to me. I'll show you him when I go up to the main map here for the tournament. But he's spectacular. Me and him do all kinds of trades all the time. He's great. Just great. I don't need those. I'm not giving you crystals, Bisty. Bisty shows up on my screen all the time. He's close to me, but I haven't discovered him yet, so I'm not going to pay the trader any kind of goods. It's a bit of a waste. I mean, unless you super need it. And if he were to do one that required scrolls, because I'm a scroll manufacturer, I may take it if I needed the silks, which he usually is in need of as well. Okay, so let's move forward here and see what we can get done. So right now we have the trader covered on what trades to take, and it doesn't matter if it's 2, 3, or 1 stars, okay? As long as it is goods for goods is what you're looking for. So we got 200 for 200. That is a beautiful trade, and I'm actually gonna make it twice. Now, I didn't actually need that trade because I have plenty of all the first tier items. That wasn't a necessity that I had to do. However, he's helped me out a bunch of times before, and if someone's helped you out a bunch of times before, there's no need to take the trade if you can take it, because he may need some planks. And I just gave him 400 that he can use for whatever he needs to use for. So definitely look at people who've helped you out, and people you want to help out, and just see what you can do. Now, in our fellowship, if you need a resource for a specific thing, put it in the chat. And we'll come across it, and myself or one of the mages or one of the other fellows in the fellowship will totally take that trade in order to help you out. Because that's what we do. We help each other. It's all big and friendly and awesome. All right, but you got to let us know in the chat here. Super important. But since no one's declared anything being important, there's no trade I'm going to take that isn't a necessity for me to take in a ridiculous amount. Like if excuse me, if True Alturian messaged me, and this is his message sitting here, saying, dude, I really need planks, then I would take all of those trades for him to make sure he got those planks. Because even though he's not in our fellowship, he has helped me out in a bind a time or two. And it's really good to return those favors. But if he was in our fellowship, I would take it without any questions asked. Wouldn't even matter. It could be my last 500 planks, and I would give them to him off the bat. And I have done that for people here in the fellowship, because that's how you work together. All right, and that's how you get things moving forward. That's how I got all these numbers here, because I traded something to somebody else who needed it, and I got something in return, a fair trade. And it worked out fantastically. So that's how my numbers got so high. I use the trader the way it's supposed to be used. I take all the trades that I can take off of my main resource. And if someone's looking for something in my secondary resource and I have that, then I'll go ahead and throw it their way, because they could absolutely need it. But if I don't have it, I'm not going to waste my time or energy trying to put that in there, because we have other people in this fellowship who are maining planks. And when their produced good is planks, then they could take those trades just as easy as I could. You know, and there's no reason for me to waste my resource taking that trade, because my manufactured good is steel. And I will take almost 100% of the steel trades that are out there. If you ask for steel, I've got you covered. It's just how it works. And it doesn't matter what you're offering in response. Like, I will 90% of the time, if you need steel or you're asking for steel or you've got a steel trade up there, I will take it. I will take it almost 100% of the time. Like, never fails. That's how I've got all the numbers that I've got, because that's my manufactured good, and I will represent that all the way through the fellowship. Just like scrolls for me. That's my manufactured good. And generally, with the tier 2 stuff, if it's tier 2 for tier 2, I'll take it off top. Not even questions asked. Take it off top. I get down to 0 scrolls regularly because that's just what I do. You know, I go in there and I trade. But getting down to 0 scrolls means I've got 489 of these and 498 of those. That doesn't sound like a lot, but by the time these are gone, I'll have, you know, almost 1,000 of one of these two things, because generally it comes in huge swarms. And then when these get produced again, I'll go and get the other one or the same one. It doesn't really matter. One of the other 2 tier 2s I'll get. And that'll increase those numbers even further, because I can't make them myself. I can make them, but it's not worth it. And I'm going to show you why. So upon first building one of these, okay, you make 471 a day. That is an insane amount. That is not how much I make. No. Regular production is 100. It's adding 214 and 157 from around the book. So I would get 100 a day. So if we take 24 hours, 8 goes into that. So it would be like roughly under 10 is what I would get for a 3-hour go. Like that's not really worth it. You know, that's around 10. You know, that's not where you want to be. You know, getting 10 of something per hour, it would take you all day to get 100. And that's not going to benefit you on the trader. It's not going to benefit you on what you're doing. But see, in a heartbeat, I can come in here, I can place offer, put scrolls for silk. I don't need scrolls for scrolls. Scrolls for silk. We'll just do 100. We'll do 1, 2. Now see, tier 2 things are actually really hard to get. So to be completely honest, I should only do 25. Then we'll do 4 of these, because these are, they come in a little easier. But it doesn't mean that it's not difficult to get, because they cost a lot to make, those manufactories, just a lot to make. This guy, for instance, if I was trying to upgrade him, it's 83 population. To initially build that, you're not going to believe this, 113 population. Ridiculous. But that's the price you got to pay, you know? So that's what it costs, but you get a lot out of building that building. Like, they are way more boosted than your steel manufacturers when you first started out. I mean, way more boosted. Ridiculous style. Now, I don't mean boosted here, because I've got 291% and 214%. Those are 2 very big differences. I've only got 49 of my scrolls and 93 of my steels. Okay, that's a huge difference. That's not the boost that I'm talking about. The initial building has a lot more initial production than your tier 1 goods did. So you can make a lot more of them in a lot shorter amount of time, as long as it's your boosted good. Because it having that boost with the additional bigger production initially is going to be what's going to get you those big numbers. And I only had 2. I had this one and this one. And just these 2 gives me about 300 every 3 hours. That's about 100 an hour. And with 300, I can get 300 of my other tier 2s. You know, crystals or silk or anything, and 300 is a lot to work with. Now we're going to go to my knowledge book here, because this will be the second thing I do when I log in. Right now I'm working on squad size upgrade 7. Just pump them all in. No interest in doing anything else. I could go over here and be like, well, advanced scroll manufacturer, that would be awesome, but I'm already working on this, and I have to get this done in order to move my tree forward. So there's no point in me getting this done. Because what would I be able to do? Upgrade my scroll manufactories? I mean, that would be cool, but meh. Like, I'd much rather have the squad size upgrade, which is useless, mind you, in my opinion. Right? In my opinion. And the archer promotion, so that I can get to the Ancient Wonders and the Statue of Sacred Sage. I would rather these 2 than these. And plus, I would also like to get my manufactories, so these are going to be my next target after I finish this. Because it would be so nice to be able to produce my elixirs, because I'm an elixir guy. That's all I'm going to produce, and then I'm going to go to the trader, and I'm going to make it awesome. Going to make it just amazing and awesome. Okay, so that's how that all works. Whew. Now we're gonna head back home, and you're like, why head home if we're going to talk about the tournament next? Now I'm going to tell you why. Because if I head home, there's a chance more beats will be available. The more beats you have, the more of a chance you have of getting the awesome item. You're supposed to be sacked by a certain time. Terrible fucking item. Stupid as balls. I do apologize for swearing. It's just, it's what I do. Like, things irk me a lot. So I'm not actually going to spend any of my beats on this day, because I don't want that building. It expires, and that means a waste to me. But as you can see, I did get the dragon, the mother dragon, and the unicorns. Look at the unicorns right here. The silver unicorns. Yes, quite nice, quite nice. So next we're going to talk about the tournament. Now the tournament is the only place that I use units to fight with. This is because, and I will show you how ridiculous this gets on your map here. So as you can see, I've unlocked a lot and scouted a lot of different provinces and done a lot of work here. Now I haven't done my tournament for the day, so I could do this video for you guys at night. I tried doing it earlier, but my daughter was awake, and it just didn't work, right? So you can see there's a lot of movement around here. There's a lot of openness that I've opened up with my provinces. So what we're going to look at here is we're going to look at this one right here. Now this one is, we're going to go back here real quick. So that's where my house is, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 5-out province, and the distance it is from your main place determines how difficult the battle is. Mind you, this is only 5 out. Only 5. Okay? Look at this ridiculousness. I can click any of these. Okay? Shady characters. Level 20 flippin' swamp monster. 123 light melee unit. 123. 61 heavy melee unit. And to top it all off, a mage unit. And you're like, that is not that bad, right? So click fight. Let's see what we got. Enemy squad size 123. And currently, I'm at 69. I'm at just over half of what their army size is. That's not good fighting. That's just not good fighting. And the other thing is they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to my 5. Like that. This is not a fight you can win. It's not a way that it can be made possible. Now, that's why I can't use my units for these outside fights, because no matter which one I click here, no matter how far out of range I go, these are all extremely difficult. And one would even say impossible to do with these game mechanics. And we're going to show you why with the tournament here. Okay, so my tournament's open. You can see these are the tournament blocks. Okay. Now the first one you unlock, there's only going to be one on the map, and it's going to have 0 stars on it out of 6. I have 3. I'm about to make them all 4. Is what's about to happen. Okay. Or I have 3 stars on all of my tournament blocks. I'm going to make all of the stars go up to 4-star rankings. These spots are all of the planks. They're all the planks that I've unlocked with all of my province unlocking. Next should be the crystal tournament, because they do go in order. So crystal tournament will be next. So all of my crystal provinces that I've unlocked will allow me, like here's one, they'll allow me a spot in the next tournament place that I can use in order to get things done and fight and gain points for everybody. Now let's talk about this screen here. This is very important for everyone to understand. This is where the biggest part of the tournament comes in. Okay, all of these boxes can be unlocked by everyone in the fellowship working together. And what could I possibly mean by that? We have 1,057 out of 2,600 to unlock this one box. Now on the first page here, we've got Pixie Bright doing 732. Fantastic job. We've got TC doing 596. I'm sitting at 540. We've got 518 from Raider, and Cosmos Dragon pulling in the bottom chain with 468. That is insane. All of these scores here are added up and added into this total here. Once this reaches 2,600, we've unlocked the box. Now we've already unlocked these 3 boxes because we've gotten 1,200 tournament points. And then, that's not true. No, we got 600 tournament points. And then we got 1,200 more. And then we got 1,900 more. And all we need for this one is 2,600. And we are 1,600 away. But there's only 12 hours left. You know, and that's a downside to it. By the time we get close to the 4th box, we're less than a day away from it ending, you know? And everyone needs to participate in order to get there. Now, don't take me the wrong way, okay? Not everyone has to get 732. I'm calling shenanigans on Pixie on this one. Shenanigans are bad! No, Pixie is actually a plank primary. Her good boost is on planks. So she must have a boat ton of these tournament spaces for her to unlock. Let me show you how to get tournament points to help out the entire team here, okay? So we're going to go down to this little tent, and we're going to click it. And this shows all of my provinces that are in this particular tournament. As you can see, none of them have been completed, and they're all at 0 of 4 of this particular ranking. And they're all at rank 3. Okay? These are my specific rewards I get for completing that tournament space. So we're going to look at this first one first, because I think this is the first one that I opened. I'm not entirely sure how this system works personally. So I'm going to click Visit this province. Yeah, this is the first one I did because it's closest to my place. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit of a lazy mouser. I'm going to click the first one. Now, I showed you earlier, troops cost supplies. Okay? So, this is a fight we could totally take. I could kill all these dudes. No issue. But the question is, how many of my dudes would they kill? Okay? 600 supplies and 1,000 gold. So if I hit fight, squad size is 6, and I put in 3 archers and heavy range, and 2 heavy range dudes, okay? Because that's what's going to take this. Oh, no, not 2 heavy range dudes. We're going to do a dog. If I did this and hit auto fight, I would win, and they would all be taken out, right? No issue. But is it worth the amount of units I would lose in order to do that? Because they do cost supplies. Now, because the unit size is so small, it's not going to cost me 600 supplies to do this battle. Not even a little bit. But it's not going to cost me any heavy resources to just negotiate the battle out. So there's no reason on the ones that just are golden supplies to not just cater. Boom. 8 flippin' tournament points right there. Okay? We're going to move to the next one. This one's going to cost me 49 steel. Now, I've got thousands of steel. So 49 is no problem for me. Okay? But we're going to go ahead and see if we can't fight this out and make it work. Why are you good against heavy? Oh, because you're a light ranged unit. That's fine. That's fine. And that's fine. So we're going to hit fight, okay? So 49 steel is going to be the wager on whether or not we can fight this and what we're going to lose in terms of this fight itself. Now, these guys are as expensive to make as the treants. So we're only going to put two of them in. This guy's good against heavy melee units, which means he's going to be able to wail on this dude here with no issue. This guy's good against everybody else, which is why we have 2 of him already. But they're only 1 in the squad. So if he dies, he just dies, okay? So we're going to drop in 2 of these to take care of these guys here, okay? This guy is going to help take out these guys here. So this is all just for the 3 main units that are here. We still have the heavy melee unit. Now, what I'm going to do, just put you in because you're good against heavy melee. And I'm going to put him in, okay? Now, I'm going to click auto fight just to show you what happens when you click auto fight. And it's quick and it's simple, and it says, did you win or did you lose? Oh, we won and barely lost anyone. Phenomenal. Greatness, back to province, won 8 more tournament points for everyone. But mainly me, yeah. So we go to the next one and we see 200 planks and 400 supplies. But here's the kicker. It's 2 heavy melee units. What do? We're heavy melee units? We fight them because, oh my god, are they stupid simple to kill. Now, these units are my light ranged units, and they are good against the heavy melee units, but it's not the reason I'm picking them. Not even a little bit. There's only 8 of these guys, which means that any squad size is 16. Okay? Mine's only 6. How could I possibly win this? I'm going to show you. This is how you can manually fight in Elvenar. I don't normally do this. If I would have clicked auto fight, I would have lost like 4 dudes. And their team would have died. Because literally, you can just kite around them. It is spectacular. Whew. In a fight in Elvenar, you can mouse over any of the units and see where they can move. And you can see on the screen here, that guy can move that far, that guy can move that far, and where the enemy can move. Now, why is that important? Well, this is a heavy melee unit. If you click his little eye there, he's only got a 1 attack range. So he has to be standing next to another unit in order to hit him. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to... You can't hit him from there? I'm a tad disappointed in you, Archer. We're going to move you up here. Now, there is some finesse to this. This isn't just, you know, goofballing around, you know, put everyone where you think they should be put, move everyone as forward as they can go. You know, there's actual finesse to this, and you've got to learn the finesse in order to make it work. Oh, can you? Yeah, buddy. Hit him in the face. All right. I get excited with the battles. I'm sorry. Everyone's basically going to move up about as far as they can move up, and they're going to hit this one dude. And this is not a good tactic to use unless you're in this specific circumstance. And I know what you're thinking. Why does that matter? And it matters because if he was to actually reach one of my guys with 7 dudes left in him, he would do a shit ton of damage. I mean, a shit ton. It is ridiculous how much damage the enemies do versus how much damage you do. No joke. Don't even attempt it. If you have 2 equivalent units of one of yours and one of theirs, theirs will completely obliterate you. Completely. And I don't understand why. I don't understand how it happens. Like, that's just how this game is ridiculously unbalanced for the fighting. But again, we're doing story, so that's where we're going to move on. Now, this guy can move here. However, units cannot move through other units at all. So if he were to move here, he would have to take an additional step back in order to get around that guy to move around. So instead of doing that, we're going to place him right here behind this rock. And that's to give everybody full movement to make sure that these guys don't reach my dudes. So this guy currently can reach my dudes, and this guy can reach one of my dudes. So I'm still going to focus my attacks on him because I need 1 dude running around, not 2. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move back 1 space because now he's out of range and he's going to hit him in the face. Headshot. Alright, now he is in no danger of being hit by this guy. So he's actually just going to chill by this rock. And you hit him in the face. He can be hit by this guy. So we're going to move back 1 and see if we can, yeah, we can still hit him. Be very careful with this, okay? If I move it up to here, you're going to look at the left side of the screen. There's extra orange or yellow markers over there. That means he's going to move those spaces to hit this guy. This doesn't mean he's going to stand still and hit this guy. It means he's going to move to hit this guy. But see, when I mouse over him, there's no additional yellow spaces on the left, which means he's going to stand still and hit this guy. And he's in the safe zone because he can't get hit. So we're going to go ahead and just block him out. All right, now he is in range for both of these guys, right? So we have to make sure he's not going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him back 1, and he can hit either dude. So we're going to go ahead and hit Mr. 5 here and get him down to 4. Okay, because like I said, I want 1 guy. I'm going to have this guy alive and this guy dead. That's my goal here, because you can kite this entire battle. All right, now we're going to do a lot less talking and a lot more killing. And you're just going to see how my tactics work and how you don't lose any soldiers in this, which makes this a completely free tournament win. You don't spend any resources whatsoever. I might lose a guy or 2. Actually, that's pretty true. That could happen. Let's actually move you there. Hit him. Wonderful. He's going to die this turn, is what's going to happen. I can't have you cornered. Move back 1 more. Hit him in the face. This guy can hit him, but he can also be hit by the other 2 guys. He's also going to die, so all I have to do is make sure that I'm not in range of him. 1, 2, 1, 2. So move to there, so why don't you move here? And just hit him in the face. You're not going to be able to reach him. How very unfortunate. And if I move you here, he can't move around you. So move you back 1, you're still in range. That's a tough call. We're just going to move you there. Hope you can still hit him, yeah. Okay, now you are not in range. You're in range of him. And they go next. So we're going to move you back 1 and hit him in the face. Okay, now this guy's going to die. So I don't have to worry about moving him to a safe place outside of safe place against him, which he's in. So, to the face. Alright, and then no matter where he moves, he's going to get hit by that guy. I went ahead and got him cornered. And I should have done that. But it's fine. This means he can just sit still, and everyone else is going to beat this guy in the face with arrows. And hopefully, he's down far enough to where he doesn't kill my dude when he gets close enough to it. So, we're going to move you here. You're going to hit him in the face. Oh, you can actually get out of range, can't you? Sure can. Sound effects are also a necessity. If you don't do sound effects, you're just not doing it right. So he's down to 3. So he's down to 3, and he's going to kill he's going to kill one of my dudes. At 3 of his dudes kills one of my dudes at 6. Like, just, I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. Alright, now all of my archers are going to unload on him. But see, here's the key factor. He cannot hit him from this distance. You see that it's no longer an archer thing, it's a sword thing. And this guy has what's called strike back, which means he will hit you back if you hit him. And I would lose additional units for that, which just is not kosher. So I'm actually going to move him here. This becomes an archery thing again, and he's going to hit him in the face. And then he's going to move there and hit him in the face. And hopefully, this is going to kill him. Lost 1 dude. That's 26 supplies right there. 1 dude. And we were able to kite the entire battle. No issues. We're going to do the last one here. And this has 2 light ranged units, a heavy melee, and then a light ranged unit. Now, what's the difference between these 2 light ranged units? Well, this one's actually called a Dryad, and this one is actually called a Bandit. The Bandit is good against mage units and heavy melee units, and this one's good against mage units and heavy melee units. However, if you hit information and you hover over this, he does plus 70% and minus 80% to the heavy ranged units, or the heavy melee units, and he takes 40% less damage from mages, right? So we do the same thing for this guy. He does 70 and 60, and 20 and 20. So they're actually very different units when it comes to their strengths anyhow. The other difference here is he can hit 4 spaces away, and he can move 3 spaces. So if I go to this guy, he can hit 4 spaces away and move 3 spaces. So that's the exact same, so that's totally kosher. I will not be fighting this one, because I will lose a lot of units to this. And I do mean a lot. So we're going to go ahead and just cater it, just to get it done, and that's 8. And then boom, I've unlocked 16 more tournament points, 2 plank relics, and 1 ensorcelled endowment. Ensorcelled? I don't even think that's a word. And that, for me, that all came to me. That's all that came to me. And if you look here, I have gone to rank 3 at 588. Now, if I go to the next one, and we look, if you see these ancient orcs, just don't even try it. Don't even try it. I'm going to show you why. They have 11 initiative, 4 movement, and 1 space. They've got 1,332 flippin' health. Way too much. Way too much. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Yeah, was it that guy? Or is it, yeah, because that's a light ranged unit, right? Yeah, it's the Bandit 2. These are also 2 stars opposed to 1 star, so they do a lot more damage. Just completely against you. So we're going to cater that. We're going to cater that. These are all 2 stars. No reason not to. And 340. Is it that guy again? Ancient Orc. Yeah. And we're going to cater that. Alright, so I've gotten 2 done. And this moves me from 3rd to 2nd place with 636 given to the tournament. And we're not, unfortunately, going to make the 2600 this time, and I really hoped we would have. But as you can see, there's a lot of people participating, up to 17. Well, we have 23 people in the fellowship. So a side step here is everything that these boxes hold in them, we get, whether you participate or not, from the tournament. We just get it. Everybody individually gets these individual things from the whole tournament. Like, everyone gets it that's in the fellowship. That's how tournaments work. The only individual things that you get that will benefit you is right up here. The province rewards for defeating this particular province thing. I'm going to get 3 books, 2 plank relics, and 16 tournament points. That's all of it. That's it. That's what I personally get. Everybody gets what's in their chests. It's not spread apart between the 3 of us, or between the 23 of us. It's just every single 23 peoples is going to get everything that's in the unlocked chests. So if we made it to the 5th box, for instance, everyone would get a runic shard, 5 knowledge points, supplies, power province, and the endorsement spell thing. Everybody would just get it. Every single person individually would get that as a reward for just being a part of the fellowship that got that high in the tournament. Okay, so I come back, and I've got more turnips, or radishes, or beets, whatever's in there. And all of my houses, yet again, wants the collectings, which is super freaking nice. So that's the basics of Elvenar. That's how we move forward. We utilize the trader in order to get the goods that we are not boosted in. We utilize the tournaments to get additional relics for not only us, but for people who produce that particular item. So for instance, the plank people, or the people who produce planks as their main goods, will have a ridiculous amount of plank relics off of this, which will increase their production of planks, giving everyone in the fellowship way more planks, because they can now produce more for nothing but everyone participating in a tournament. And that is phenomenal to have. As you can see with my relics, we just had a steel tournament, and I have 93 steel relics, because we got 3 boxes. Imagine if we got 4, or 5, or 6. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous. And once we do the scrolls one, that's going to be up there too, because that's how this works. It helps the people who have a boosted good in there. And when they're helped, they can trade more for the people who don't have a boosted good in there. So I can trade way more steel, and I have way more steel. As you can see, again, 5,193, because I am boosted so high because of the tournaments. That's why tournaments are so important. You just got to get them going, got to get them done. And every time they circle through, they're going to come right back. Then we're going to get them again. There's going to be way more production. And because of my amount of production, I was able to get rid of 3 or 4 steel manufactories. And I've only got 4 left. This used to be a whole row. For anyone who's been playing knows, this used to be a whole row of steel manufactories. Now they're gone. Why? Because I don't need them anymore. I have a lot of steel, and now I just need these 4. And that's it. And the other 3 or 4 are gone, and that's why my population is at 690, because I got the population back, and my culture is at 436, because I got the culture back. It's all super important. So, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, you can comment below, but I don't really come to YouTube that often. Just ask me here in game. Send me a message, say something in chat. I will totally respond to you. As always, don't die, and it's been a pleasure, guys. I hope you learned everything you could. If you have any other questions, or you want me to do another video, again, let me know in the game, and I'll do what I can. Thanks, guys.